everybody! If you're new here, my name's Sailor Noogie. I do a lot of videos where I go through my physical game collection. You can go back to my previous videos and I've shared my Game Boy Advance games, DS, PSP game collection, and one where I go through all my games and I just completely reorganize it. So if you're interested, you can go back and watch those. But today, I wanted to share with you a bunch of games that I own physically that are some of my most played as a kid. So I'm going to start the video by just giving you some insight. When I was growing up, my first console that I ever played any games on whatsoever was PlayStation 1. And from there I played PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. I basically grew up on PlayStation and computer games. That's like my childhood. I actually didn't grow up with a Nintendo console in the house, which I got older and realized that a lot of people grew up as Nintendo gamers. And I did to an extent, like when I went to friends' houses and if they had a Nintendo system, then I would play Mario Kart, Mario Party, that kind of thing. Or my family had a Wii and we'd play Wii Tennis, so a lot of like the multiplayer games. But really my first Nintendo console I didn't have until my 20s. I know that's like crazy. And I also didn't grow up playing the Pokemon games. I was such a big Pokemon fan. I loved Pokemon growing up. I had a Pikachu backpack when I was in first grade. I loved the anime and the movies and I collected Pokemon cards. My parents just never got me a Game Boy Advance or DS or any of that growing up, and now I'm living vicariously in my inner child with my games. But these are some games that I have that are some of the games I played the most as a kid. I felt like it was important to give you some background on like my experience as gaming as a kid. We're all different, and one thing is like I don't believe in being like, oh my gosh, you never played this game growing up, because we all had different consoles, we all got different games as a kid, we all got different hand-me-downs, the days when you go to Blockbuster and you can rent games, you know, all of our experience is different. But yeah, so for me personally, my dad, he had a PlayStation 1 and he would play it when I was growing up. And then whenever he wasn't home, we would kind of sneak up there and play whatever games he had, literally anything. I remember playing the very first Civilization game on PlayStation 1 because my dad owned it. That's such a random game for like a 7-year-old to be playing, but I was really into the real-time strategy games when I was a kid. I loved Age of Empires, Civilization. What is the other one? Red Alert, Command & Conquer. My dad had Red Alert, Command & Conquer on PC, and I absolutely loved that game. I think I was about 10 when I played Command & Conquer. I have like pretty much a wide variety of games. Some of them, like I said, were just hand-me-downs from my dad or things that we got for Christmas or our birthday or things like that. I'm so excited to share with you the games that I grew up with as a kid. So let's get into it. So the first games that I want to show you are Gran Turismo and Gran Turismo 2 for the PlayStation 1. I forgot to mention this before, but I'll go ahead and mention it now. So none of the games that I own are the actual copies that I owned as a kid. Unfortunately, I don't know where that PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PS3, I don't know where any of them are. Hopefully they're being used by someone today. Hopefully they're not just in a landfill, but I don't own them. These aren't the exact games that I had as a kid, but they are the games I grew up playing. I just purchased them later in life, if that makes sense. So I have a PS2, and I knew when I got my PS2, something I absolutely had to have was Gran Turismo, like the OG ones. If my memory serves me correct, this was a hand-me-down from my dad. That's how we got into Gran Turismo. And we absolutely loved it. Me and my sister would play this 2-player, but there was also the option where you could do like your solo campaign and you could try to get all the licenses and like master all the different cars, which was super fun and I love. And I'll be honest, I have not played the most recent game that's for like PS4 or PS5. I haven't played that. If you played it, is it good? Like, should I get it? I feel like for nostalgia's sake, I should definitely get it, but nothing just beats these classic racing games to me. I feel like I've talked about this on another video, but this is my favorite racing game of all time, which I know is steep considering that like Mario Kart exists. And I love Mario Kart. Once again, I have like really fond memories of playing that at friends' houses, and it's just so fun. It's hard to beat Mario Kart, but this is just my favorite. And I think I'm just like bonded to it forever because of my childhood, and I just love it. And if you never played Gran Turismo, I think you should. I also grew up playing like Need for Speed, but I never got into that one as much. I really love the music in the Gran Turismo games. I love the cars, I love the aesthetic, I love everything about it. So I've played these now like as an adult, these exact games, and I realized they're not easy games. Like, it's not like other racing games, and it is kind of difficult to learn how to drive the car. And I don't really know how to explain that other than you would just have to like do it just to see what I'm talking about. But it's not like necessarily an easy racing game, but it's not hard to learn, and I think it's really fun, and I think it gives you a really fun challenge in racing, and I think you should play Gran Turismo. That is it. Okay, so the next two games I'm going to show you are similar but different, and you'll see what I'm talking about when I show you. So the first game I have is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. I played multiple of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. This is just the one that I own. It's actually the only Tony Hawk Pro Skater game that I own for PlayStation, but I really love it. I remember the Underground games. I think those didn't come out until later with like PlayStation 3. I'll have to look that up maybe after the video, or let me know in the comments. Either way, but I just love the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games. I love that you can create your own skater and you can create your own skate park. I remember having so much fun making my own skate park. Like, I would spend hours just making my own skate parks and like tearing them down and building them. And maybe that's like why I got really into like simulation type games. Like, it's kind of like really fun to get in that creative mode. And honestly, it was so fun just to like skate around, not even competitively, not trying to like get the high score or trophies or anything, literally just skating around because they played the best music. When I tell you the best music, so good. So many really great songs, kind of like 2000's rock, like it says that Red Hot Chili Peppers, Alien Ant Farm, just like a bunch of random like skater music. It is just so good. I definitely think everybody needs to play like the original Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I own Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake, but I also own 3 and 4, and I just love it. I think it is so good. Okay, so you'll see what I mean with this game being like similar but different, and I definitely went through a phase where I love all those games of like riding a board or something, and you run around and you do tricks and you get points for it, or you race, that kind of thing. SSX3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I love this game so much. I remember the first time I played this and being absolutely captivated by it. Something I love is that there are a lot of female characters that you can choose from in here, and I automatically like loved Kaori. She's my favorite character. I love her like kawaii aesthetic and how she has like these really colorful pink, green snowboards, and you can like play the game and unlock different outfits and different snowboards for her, and they have like flowers all over them, and they're just like so cute. She was my favorite character, and I pretty much always picked her, but sometimes I would pick some of the other characters just for fun to mix it up. It also has a really great soundtrack, and you can race in this game, or you can also just go on a slope and just get tons of air and do lots of tricks like in combos, and try to get a trophy for the highest score, which I think is really fun. I also really love SSX Tricky, and to be honest, I say this is one of my favorite games all time, but like I really love Tricky. They're similar but different. Something I like about this game is you can get more air, which just makes doing the combos like more fun. So I really love it. I think if you have a PS2, you should go back and get SSX3 especially. I definitely recommend that one. I think SSX Tricky is a little harder but not impossible, and the other SSX games like aren't as good, but I do really love this one, and I wish it so bad that they would come out with a new SSX game. Like, did you play this as a kid? I feel like it was really popular. I feel like these games, like I said, I had Tony Hawk Pro Skater as a kid. I had SSX games, and there was also this game where you ride around on an ATV. Yeah, an ATV like riding game. And then there was another one I really, really, really loved that was like a BMX riding game where I think you can race in that game. It's been so long since I played it, but from my memory, I don't think I did the racing. I liked just going around and doing the tricks on the BMX bike. That was so fun. I was so obsessed with those games when I was a kid, and I just love them. Okay, so the next two games are a part of one of my favorite series of all time. And if you're noticing a theme, I played some pretty random games when I was a kid. And this isn't all of like just my favorite games of all time. They're just the ones that I physically own that when I got a PS2, I was like, I have to get them because they're just some of my favorite games when I was a kid. And I think there's something really special about playing on the original like console you played as a kid and playing those games. I know they come out with remakes and stuff, but I think it's just something really special about like the OG graphics on the original console. It's really cool. So the game that I'm going to show you is the original Sims on PlayStation 2. A lot of these are the greatest hits version. And I have people comment on most of my videos like, why the greatest hits version? If I'm at the store and that's what they have, that's what I'll get. If I can get the non-greatest hits version and get like the just original game, then I love to do that. But you know, for the sake of like playing the game, I like to get just what I can get. And so I do have the original Sims on PlayStation 2. And I also want to show you actually one of my favorite games of all time that I played as a kid, that goes Sims Bustin' Out. This was my favorite Sims game growing up. This was the first Sims game I ever played. And the funny story is I remember watching my dad play this in the living room, and we all just kind of sat in the living room and watched him play it, and it was so fun. And then me and my sister ended up hijacking it and playing it on our own, and then it just became our game, and we were so obsessed with it. And another really fun story about Sims Bustin' Out, if you're not familiar with the Sims games and you're not familiar with like the old Sims games and Sims Bustin' Out, this one actually has an end objective, which I feel like makes this a great first Sims game for anyone, because the other one, Sims, yeah, there's a career ladder, right? And you can like play super creatively and you can make your own end goal type thing. But this like actually you can beat the game. And really most Sims games you just play endlessly for the most part. The exception that would be Sims Herbs. That one also has like an end goal. Sims University, I guess you could like argue, has an end goal, but for the most part Sims Bustin' Out is awesome for people just getting into Sims because there is a beginning and end. And I absolutely love this game, especially playing it now. There's just so much nostalgia to it. It is so 2000s, like all the outfits, really for both of them, like Sims also. And something that I think is really funny, this is something I've thought a lot about as a lifetime Sims player, is I just remember when I was playing Sims 1, I was playing Sims Bustin' Out, and eventually I got so bored because really there aren't like that many clothing options in the game and there aren't that many decor options. And after you play them for, I mean, hundreds of hours, you can get really bored and you feel like you've exhausted everything. You feel like you've literally been looking at the same decor and it can get kind of boring. So I remember when like Sims 2 came out, Sims 3 came out, Sims 4 came out, and just remember being like, wow, this looks so good. And there's so many clothing options. And now we haven't gotten a new Sims game in God knows how long. It's been, what, at least 10 years? Which is crazy, but they just keep putting out DLCs. And I buy some of them when they're on sale, like don't get me wrong. I'm not personally a person who mods Sims games because I grew up playing the OG Sims games and I feel like there's so many options. I also play other games on my PC, so I don't want to like fill up my PC with a bunch of mods either. So to each their own. This new generation is, I sound old when I say that, but this new generation is modding the heck out of Sims. I think it's awesome. I am so content with with the old Sims game, and that shows my age, to be honest. But don't get me wrong, I love Sims 4. If you are interested in playing Sims 1 and 2, you'd have to emulate Sims Bustin' Out. But if you're interested in playing Sims 1 and 2, they do have the Legacy Collection on Steam. The only thing about that is that I bought that as soon as it came out, not gonna lie. I was so excited about it. I was like, oh, I can play on PC, this is really cool. I was enjoying it. I did find it buggy and the game crashed on me multiple times while I was playing the game. With that being said, that was when it first came out and I haven't played it in a while. So maybe they've come out with some patches. I don't know. I would say we'll look at reviews and maybe I'll load it up and see if it's still buggy actually. But I was really enjoying playing Sims 1 and 2 on Steam. And I do love that it's an option, to be honest. But once again, I think there's just something really special about playing these games like the original. Another thing is that these games are a lot simpler than the Sims 4, and I just can't imagine, like, I'm to the point where I cannot play Sims 4 with a controller. I don't know how people are doing it. Those of you who play Sims on console, I mean, I guess you get used to what you're used to, but I just feel like that game is a little more complex and there's a lot more to it, and so I prefer playing that with the mouse and keyboard. But these are like really fun to play on a console. Okay, I'm gonna share the next game with you. This is one of my favorite series of all time. And I have to say, this is not my favorite game in the series, but it's the only one that I own for now on the PlayStation 2. I do want to get more of these games. I will show you what it is and then we'll talk about it. I have Tekken 4. This is my favorite fighting game. So as you can see, I grew up with a little bit of everything. I have 2 more games to show you as well, but like I grew up literally playing like Sims, like simulation cozy games. I grew up playing like some sports combo games, racing games. I grew up playing fighting games, like a little bit of everything. My favorite Tekken game is Tekken Tag Tournament 3. Pretty much this game just represents the Tekken games as a whole. I played a lot of the different ones. Like at this point, I don't even remember. It's been 20 years. So I can't remember, but I do remember Tekken Tag Tournament 3. That was my personal favorite one. But I've played several other Tekken games and I just really love them. My favorite character of all time in Tekken was June. Like I played the heck out of her as a kid. I also really love Haaiiiii. And I remember when I picked up Tekken 7, I was playing it. I was like, where's June? Where is June? Where is she at? But they actually brought her back from Tekken 8, which I'm really excited about. Something I did not appreciate about Tekken when I was a kid is how amazing the story is, to be honest. Like, once I became an adult and I played Tekken and I started to learn the story, I was like, wow, this game is so good. But it's also like so much fun to do the combos. I'll be honest, I'm a random button presser when it comes to Tekken and fighting games. I feel like maybe I am a very intuitive fighting game player. Does that make me the best? No, it does not. You really have to commit to doing combos and stuff, but I just never have, I'll be honest. I will say that I do have Tekken 8, and I'm not a big fan of that game. I was playing it in the story mode, and my hands were hurting so bad trying to like beat that guy. And maybe it's because I'm not learning combos, and maybe I need to learn combos to play that game. Have y'all played Tekken 8 or 7? Are you a lifetime Tekken player, or do you love the games? Look, I'm just trying to play for fun. It's really fun to play other people in multiplayer mode. There's also the online version in the newer games. Did this one have an online version? I don't see that it does. No, I don't think that it does, but Tekken is amazing. I also love other fighting games. Like I also grew up playing Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, some other different fighting games. But to be honest, oh, there was an X-Men fighting game that I just like really loved. I think it was I actually don't remember all the details. I just have a childhood memory of playing the X-Men fighting game and I loved it so much. But number one, top tier for me is Tekken. I just freaking love it. And I was so excited when I saw it. And I want to get more Tekken games for my PS2 for sure. And the great thing about PS2 is that I'm not just limited to PS2, of course. Like it was backwards compatible, so I can get PS1 games. Once again, I have the Gran Turismo games, and I do have a couple more PS1 games. I'll be honest, I don't have like a ton of PS1 games. I'm waiting to build up my collection with that a little more before I do like a PS1, PS2. I'd probably do a combo PS1, PS2 like haul video or collection video, but I think I need to build up that a little more. To be honest, I just got my PS2 from a friend last year, so I've been slowly building that collection. But I've been buying PSP games out of the wazoo like crazy, so that's a different story. Okay, so the next 2 games I have are PS4 games, and they are remakes of the original. I just felt like they should be honorary mentions in this video because I played them so much and I loved them so much when I was a kid. So the first game I want to show you is Crash Bandicoot. This is the remastered version for PS4, and this actually includes 3 games. It includes Crash Bandicoot 1, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back, and Crash Bandicoot 2 Warped. The writing is so tiny. If you're one who was struggling to read that, the writing is so tiny, so it's kind of hard to see. But I definitely remember playing the first Crash Bandicoot game. I played Crash Bandicoot 2. I don't remember playing Warp. That doesn't mean that I didn't play it. I believe I did play Crash Bandicoot 2 Cortex Strikes Back. Like that one sounds familiar. As far as this game, the only one that I've played on here is the first Crash Bandicoot because that's the one that I remember playing the most as a kid. And I know this isn't the original, so I'm sorry I'm not including the original in this video, but I need to get some Crash Bandicoot games for my PlayStation 2, whether it be PS1 or 2. It's, you know what's really funny is as I got older and became an adult, I started hearing other people talk about how hard Crash Bandicoot is. And I was like, really? Really? Is it that hard? Like, I don't remember being that hard. But then I played it and realized that I just never got very far in the game and I kept doing the first couple of levels over and over and over and over again. And you know what? I was having a fun time when I was a kid. I was having the time of my life playing Crash Bandicoot in the first couple of areas over and over and over again. So fun. And I love this game so much, and I just wanted to include it in the video and mention it because it was one of my most played games as a kid. So the next game that I want to show you is very similar, and I do own it. This is actually a gift from a friend. My friend Kev gave me this game, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fuel. So they did make a remastered version of this also for PS4, and honestly I haven't even opened it yet. It's still in the plastic. He gave it to me a couple months ago. I just haven't gotten around to playing it. But this game is a lot like Mario Kart, to be honest. If you like Mario Kart, you should definitely give this game a try. But I love it because I think they do an amazing job of really incorporating the world of Crash Bandicoot into this racing game, and it just makes it so fun. It is so fun. And of course, in any kind of game, I always pick the girl, and that is not a joke. I love it so much. I always pick Coco when I'm playing this. I literally refuse to play as anybody else. And it is just so fun. If you haven't ever played Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, I think you should pick it up for PS4. For both of these games, like I said, I know I don't own them for original PlayStation. I still felt like I should include in the video because I played the heck out of them. I'm definitely still going to be looking for them in their original, like the original copies of this, so I could play them on the PS2. But I just absolutely love them so much. Another game that I own, but I don't own physically, that I feel for the sake of the video, I want to just, once again, honorary mention, talk about. I feel like this video started with me showing like OG PS1 2 games, and then I started sharing my remake versions of childhood favorite games. But one of my favorite games as a kid was Spyro. I absolutely love Spyro, and I do have I believe that's a trilogy remake for PlayStation 4. I have it on my PlayStation 5. I own that digitally, very sadly. And whenever I've been in game stores, I've been looking at the Spyro games and thinking to myself, I really want to pick them up for PlayStation 2 very badly, but I'm definitely adding them to the list. I want to get some Crash Bandicoot games for my PlayStation 2. I want to get some Spyro games for my PlayStation 2. I loved Sonic the Hedgehog growing up. That was another game series I just really loved. I mostly played the 2D Sonic games, so I would love to get some Sonic games, like some original Sonic games. That would be really cool. But yeah, this concludes my video. I just really wanted to give you a little bit of an insight on the types of games that I grew up on. A little bit of everything, to be honest. As you can see, like some platformers, some Sims, some racing games, some fighting games. It wasn't until I became an adult that I got into single player story games, and now those are honestly like some of my favorite. I love JRPGs, I love turn-based games, I love turn-based strategy too. I would love to own Civilization, some of the Civilization games, or Age of Empires. I do have an Age of Empires game for my GBA, but now I'm just getting off track. But yes, thank you so much for watching. If you like this type of video, let me know in the comments. I would love to make more. I love chatting with you guys in the comments, so feel free to comment. Whenever you guys give me recommendations of games, I always write them down on a little piece of paper, and so that I can look them up later. And I just really appreciate you guys watching my videos, and anybody who watches my videos and commenting on them. It just supports me a lot, and I appreciate it, and it makes me happy that you enjoy them. So yes, until next time, thanks so much for watching.